Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all having a powerful Monday. We dealing with the sixth. In today's math, we dealing in equality, man. Equality equates to balance. Remaining centered at all times. That's the simple math for the day, man. So always remain centered in everything that you do. Remain calm in the midst of the storm. But what's the word, man? How y'all living and feeling? Give everybody about 5-6 minutes to tap in before we dive into this subject matter. We got about an hour or so to chop it up and build the day. So hopefully y'all got an hour to add on, build all that good stuff, man. Manny, peace, what's happening? Ronaldo, peace, what's the word? What's happening? Montel, peace, what's happening? How we living? How we feeling on this wonderful Monday? Emmanuel, peace, what's happening? What's the word? My Parker, peace, what's happening? I gotta, starting off the way I'm gonna start this joint off, man. I gotta tap in. I gotta bring up some sources, man, some old sources, some old books that I read back in the day, because I feel like the new thing these days for Black people in the wilderness of North America, they have us wanting to separate ourselves from our African brothers and sisters, and I'm not a fan of that. I did too much studying to fall victim to that. That's one of the tricks that the devil is playing on us. And y'all know who the devil is. This ain't no spooky person that resides underground. That's them white folk. But that's part of the trick knowledge to get us to separate ourselves from Africa. Like, nah, if y'all do some DNA testing, you gonna go back, it's all gonna trace back to Africa. So let's stop playing like that, man. We gotta stop doing that. But I got a lot of sources for folks to read. Go grab every book that I'm gonna bring up. I'm pretty sure some of y'all may have heard of some of these books, but we gotta stop the nonsense, man. Y'all, it's a slap in the face to some of our great ancestors and elders that can put in 40, 50, 60, 70 years of research. First book, of course, classic. Y'all probably read this one, Destruction of Black Civilization. Classic joint. You ain't got this? You haven't read this? Go get it. Go read it. CC, peace, what's happening? Healthy Black Pill Diet, peace, what's happening? Devin, peace, what's going on? Justin, peace, what's happening? Beast by Bless on out, peace, what's happening? Ronaldo, yeah, we gonna tap into that. Let me get these books though. Another book by Obanga out here, African Philosophy, the Pharaonic Period. It's a classic joint right here. Kai, peace, what's happening? Classic. It's a thick book, but it's classic. African Philosophy, was that Theophile Obanga, classic. And I got a bunch of other books that I'm not going to be able to share, but these some of the joints that I was able to find just out the gate. But African Philosophy, go ahead and grab that. That's another one. And this is a personal favorite. Personal favorite right here. When We Ruled by Robin Walker. Man, this joint about 600 or so pages. But this is a classic. Every Black person in the wilderness of North America and beyond should get this book and read it. This is a classic one, When We Ruled by Robin Walker. Please grab this book. Please read this book. Please read this book. Just please. Please grab that book, man, and read that joint. And another one by one of my favorite authors, man, Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben, Africa, Mother of Western Civilization. Dr. Ben, this is a classic joint. Another thick boy. But when you're doing research, you got to read these thick boys. It's another one that's about 600 plus pages. But it's great, by one of the GOATs, man. Mother of Western Civilization, man. We got to stay tapped into our roots, man. And some of our great elders and ancestors, they didn't put in work, research work, and they didn't publish some of the greatest books on the planet. So we got to read these books, man. That's the reason why they put them out. And this is one a lot of people don't know about. General History of Africa right here. Methodology in African Prehistory. This is a classic joint as well. Grab this joint. And the next one I got, or the last one I'm gonna share with y'all. This is another personal favorite by John G. Jackson, but Introduction to African Civilizations. It's a classic joint. Grab this book, man. I read this book, man, like 10 plus years ago. But this the joint, man. I got a gang of highlights in this joint, man. But this is a good one, man. Introduction to African Civilizations. Yeah. They came before Columbus, man. I got that. Blacks in Science is another book by Ivan Van Sertima that I got. He was dropping jewels about things we was doing scientifically. But it's a lot of books, so I'm gonna share. I ain't even put Sheikh Anta Diop. I ain't put none of his books in here. You know, I got plenty of his, but these books right here, what I just recommend, about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 books. Grab those 6. Break them down. Break them down. Now let's get into the topic at hand here. Ronaldo asked a question. He say, "Why is this gender war turning up so much lately?" We already know. We already know the answer to that question. And we feeding right into it. So I got to keep neutralizing it because we keep feeding right into it. It's in alignment with the agenda. And again, this agenda, they've been put it out, you know, in the form of the, you know, Willie Lynch letter and things like that. They didn't been let us know what the strategy is, you know, what they aiming to do, you know, to destroy the family unit. You got to put the man against woman, you know, so this has always been a strategy. And right now that strategy is being executed more than it ever has been. You know, it was in motion years ago, but right now it is at its like apex, man. It is there. It is at its highest point in regards to the friction between black men and black women. And when you have friction between the man and woman, guess what that does to the children? Causes a ton of confusion, causes a ton of toxicity. The children suffer. And then we have generation after generation that's just all bad, just violent, destructive, toxic, because mother, father are not functioning properly. And Ma, what you say, they pushing interracial couples? Oh yeah, yeah, they pushing that, promoting that. I got a book that says Black Love is a Revolutionary Act. FH, peace, what's happening? Yeah, I read a book years ago called Black Love is a Revolutionary Act. That's crazy because that's an actual fact. When you see two black people, you know, loving one another, that's crazy because it's a revolutionary act. They don't want you seeing that. They don't want that being promoted. They don't want that being promoted at all. That's dangerous. That's a threat to the establishment. That's a threat to their agenda. To see two black people in love, to see two black people united, that's a threat. That goes against what it is they're trying to put in motion. So they can't have that. You know, so when they see that, they got to destroy that. They got to destroy the platform that's promoting that. They can't show black love. They can't show that. That doesn't go along with the agenda. That can't make its way within the algorithm. It can't. That contradicts their agenda 100%. Moni, peace. What's happening? What's the word? You know, that contradicts everything. But that book is a classic. Get that book. Black Love is a Revolutionary Act. And that's just 100% right and exact. Black love is a revolutionary act. 100%. 100%. When you see two black folk, when you see a black man, black woman that got knowledge of themselves, they are in tune with themselves, and they come together to form one, what people call a power couple. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, America don't like that. America don't want to see that. Boom, peace, what's happening? And another thing too, in regards to what my Parker just said, I always find it funny. I brought this up several times, but I always find it funny because I done been around some of the brothers that do the interracial dating and things like that. A lot of times those brothers, man, sometimes I done had conversations with those brothers and they try to make it appear as if they are almost better than you because they date outside of the race. Like, I've always found that to be funny. You know, as if they are better than you because they date outside the race, like love has no color, and they start spitting all these philosophies at you, you know, as if they are high and mighty because they able to date outside their race, or if they're more sophisticated than you because they're dating outside their race. Like, nah, chill on out with that. Chill on out with that. Lorenzo, what's happening? Mike, peace, what's happening? Listen, like I said, if you want to dabble in the snow, if you want to dabble somewhere else, that's cool and all. But you ain't got to talk about us folk on this other side while you doing it. So if your preference is to dabble in the snow, or if your preference is to dabble in something else, that's cool. But like I said, leave folks alone. That's not our preference. Leave us alone with that. Leave us alone. Don't make it seem like we shallow. Don't make it seem like we missing out because we don't want to dabble in the snow. Like, that's ridiculous. And I've had conversations with brothers and they make it appear that way, as if you missing out because you choose to only deal with your sisters. You know what I'm saying? You choose to only deal with black women. You know, that's crazy. Like, man, you missing out, man. You need to broaden your horizons. They start saying things like that, man, like they don't understand what they saying indirectly. So I always find that to be funny. Broaden your horizons. Like, nah, fam. You struck out, you know what I'm saying? And now you run into this other side. So don't act like you some sophisticated brother that's broadening their horizons. Like, chill on out. You know, I can't stand when people start talking like that, man. That's what we not finna do. Don't act like you better than me. Don't act like you more sophisticated than me because you have chosen to date outside your race, man. Because then at that case, I'm gonna have to tell you about yourself. I'm gonna have to tell you about yourself 100%. My Parker, that's crazy. You know, when they refer to black love as struggle love, you know, that's always funny to me because the funny thing about referring to that as struggle love is like always yin and yang. You know, we deal with yin and yang. When you study every culture, when you study every spiritual system, we always deal with the yin and yang. So if the struggle got to be a part of love, what's the problem? Like, I don't know any love story that didn't involve struggle. I don't know anyone that didn't involve some sort of struggle, whether it's financial, whether it's abuse, you know what I'm saying, whether it's verbal, emotional. Every relationship, every love story that I've ever heard of, even outside of two black folks, has involved some sort of struggle. So that's just funny though. I don't know any people, I don't know any couple that has been together for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years on any side, whether it's Asian, Arabic, white, black, that didn't involve any type of struggle. You can't find one. You can't find me some people that have been together 50, 60 years and they were like, we ain't never had any type of struggles. So that's just always funny when black love, they start equating it with struggle love and things like that. Man, listen, there is no love without struggle. Point blank. There is no love without some sort of struggle. There will be some sort of struggle when it comes to love. We got a degree in the 5% culture. It's called Love Hella Right. And that lets you know, in order, listen, you got to go through hell, man. Meaning you got to go through some turbulent times in order for you to come out right and exact. And when you go through these turbulent times and come out right and exact, man, that's true love. That's love. So they letting you know, in order for you to even get to the love, you got to go through the hell. You got to go through the troubling times. That's a degree. Love hell right. In order for us to get the love and for us to come out right, we got to go through the hell first. But see, we want to skip that step, you know, but we got to go through that. You got to go through that. You got to go through that. That's going to make the love stronger. That's going to make the love stronger. But again, can't nobody point me in any direction of some folks that have been together for years, 30, 40 plus years, that they didn't struggle at all. You're not going to be able to find, you ain't going to be able to find it. You ain't going to be able to find it. And if you can find some, I'd shut up. But every couple, every married couple that I've talked to, they always talk about some sort of struggle. And I'm not just talking about the black ones. I'm talking about the white ones. I'm talking about some Asian folks. I done talked to a lot of different cultures, man. I done dealt with a lot of different cultures. You know, so every one of them talks about the struggles and the struggles that they have had to endure. You know, so again, it's always funny how we associate black love with struggle love. Like it don't exist anywhere else in any other culture. That's always crazy to me. Ronald, peace, what's happening? Cameron, you say you tried it never again. Hey, you had to learn the hard way. Sorry, you had to learn that. Devin, exactly. Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people do that. A lot of people that do the interracial dating thing, man, it's like they try to throw their own people under the bus, or they try to make us look like we on some straight hatred. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will get a dude and he done found him a white chick and he done married the white chick, and he hear somebody like myself talk about being race first and things like that, and it'll make me seem like I'm out here spitting hatred and things like that. Because they didn't dabble with the white side. Like, man, we got to stop doing that, man. Ain't nobody speaking no hatred. I'm doing what every other culture pretty much says and speaks. You know, we gonna deal with our own first. You know, I prefer to deal with my own first and foremost. I'm not the only person that said that in regards to like their culture and their ethnic group, you know. But when I say that, or when another black person says that, then again they gotta crucify, they gotta nail us to that cross, they gotta stone us to death, and say this is hate speech and things like that. My Parker, man, y'all gonna get me started. I'm trying to be nice. Y'all gonna get me started though. Y'all gonna get me started. I done had conversation, like I said, from my personal experience, the brothers that I know that dabbled with the white side, and then was talking bad about not even just the sisters, but black folks in general, making it seem like I'm some type of way because I prefer to deal with black women. Most of the dudes, from my personal experience, that's the disclaimer. I always add my disclaimer. From my personal experience, these brothers that dabble with the white side, end up getting them these white chicks and marrying these white chicks, a lot of them brothers were weak-minded. I'm just keeping it real. The ones that I knew personally, they were weak-minded. I'm weak-minded. Very weak-minded. And this is just from my personal experience. They were weak-minded. Like they didn't bring much to the table as far as like just their mindset, their mind state. Man, brothers was weak. Brothers wasn't bringing nothing to the table in regards to that mental state. Like you could walk all over them mentally. And I'm like, man, that's why you wasn't able to hold up with these sisters, man. You gotta be a strong-minded brother, man. You can't be weak-minded out here. And if you don't think Becky finna eventually take advantage of you, then you got another thing coming. She plotting on you. She doing it a different way. The sister gonna be more direct with it. She gonna get in your face with it. Becky is plotting, and she plotting, planning, and strategizing. Becky gonna get you 30 years later when you ain't got nowhere else to go. When you 60, now Becky gonna run off with all your money. She gonna run off with everything. She gonna wait for 20, 30 years though. That's how Becky gonna play it. Like that's how Becky gonna play it, fam. That's how Becky gonna play it. Becky gonna get you, she gonna let you invest 20, 30 years into that. And Becky finna get you, wipe you clean. Now you 60 and you dead broke. She done took everything from you. That's what she gonna do. Man, listen, I watch too much of that stuff, man. I see how, man, man, I know I'm not the only one that be watching, what is it, the ID channel and all that. Man, boy, I'm telling you, these white chicks is dirty, man. They grimy. I'm telling you, I be watching this stuff, man. I see what they be doing to they husbands and things like that. Man, you better watch that. Man, you better. I be watching that stuff, man. You don't see many black women on them joints. I'm just trying to tell y'all better tap in. These unsolved murder, all this type of, man. Y'all better. You don't see many black women on that joint. It be these white chicks, man. They be killing these husbands, man. They be killing their husbands. And I mean, it be crazy. So I don't know what y'all be on, man, but I watch too much of that. I watch too much of that, man. And you rarely see black women on there. You rarely see that. You rarely see it. They putting the truth right in your face, fam. So keep playing with Becky and them if you want, man. Them white women crazy. They crazy, fam. They are crazy. Like I'm trying to tell y'all. I watch this stuff all the time. And I see a bunch of white women on there. A bunch of white women, man. I'm trying to tell you, I see a bunch of Beckys on there killing their husbands for insurance money. You know, concocting these elaborate schemes, which really it'd be dumb to kill the husband, you know, to get the insurance money, things like that. So man, y'all can keep playing around if y'all want to. That's on y'all. Thinking they ain't finna do nothing to you. Thinking they are submissive. All right. All right, bro. Y'all ain't watching enough stuff out here, man. I don't know what y'all be watching, but nah. The stuff that I done seen, boy, them white chicks to do you grind. And then, like they say, they'll get off. They won't serve no time. So they'll kill you and then get away with it. They will kill you and they will get away with it. If they can sometimes kill the white husband and get away with it, what you think? They gonna kill you and definitely get away with it. So again, keep playing if y'all want to. Watch that ID channel, man. I watch too much of that, man. I watch too much of it. I watch too much of it. White chicks out here, man, they be evil. For real. Ronald for sure. Terenzo, exactly. You know, just by the way you live, your ways and actions. But hey, a lot of people ways and actions are pretty trash. You know, pretty trash. Devin, what you say, not to bring it back up, but this ties exactly to what you said about the passport bros yesterday. 100%. And now you can bring that back up. Listen, I have no problem speaking about them folk. I have no problem speaking about that. They be the ones get all butthurt getting their feelings, but I have no problems speaking about them folk, man. I have no problem. No problem. I will let y'all know every time, because I add disclaimers every time. You know, I add disclaimers every time when I talk about that crowd. You know, so I add disclaimers. So I'm good. You can bring them up anytime you would like. I have no problem. But I realize they don't have the best comprehension skills because I add disclaimers, and these folk, they ignore the disclaimer that I add. Every time they ignore the disclaimers. They ignore the disclaimers, but it's all good. Aubrey Peace, what's happening? My Parker, man, 100%. You know, that's back in my day when I used to stir up trouble. I done said that plenty of times. I remember to this day. This was a conversation that I had. I don't even know if I had it, but I think I seen it and I commented on it because I think it involved somebody I went to school with. You know, and the question was like, can you be, what was it? Can you be for black people? I think it was like, can you be, I'm paraphrasing, can you be for black people while married to a white woman? And this was in reference to this brother that we knew that went to our high school, that he married a white chick, but he was all, you know, Black Lives Matter, this, that, and the third. You know, so somebody posed that question and I came on that joint like, hell no. I was like, hell no, you can't. And that boy, they got mad. Yeah, they got mad, but they knew where I was coming with it. Hell no, you can't. And I don't care who gets offended by that. I don't care who gets offended by that, man. You know, when it comes to being race first, when it comes to this black power situation, when it comes to that, how in the hell can you be a representative of that philosophy, of that concept, of that struggle, when the very foundation of black power involves the black family structure? And in order for you to have the black family, you got to have black man, woman, and child. You have already eliminated yourself because you have black man, white woman, and child. There's no way you can represent that. There's no way you can represent it. There's no way you could be a representative. No way. When it comes to black power, when it comes to this black fight, when it comes to that black unification, it's black man, black woman, and child. That's just what it is. How you for black people, but then when it comes to your family, you ain't even trying to build a black family. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't trying to plant your seed in black soil. But you for black, that don't even make any sense to me. You're not trying to plant your seed in black soil. Nah, stop playing with me. You ain't trying to plant your seed in black soil. So now so when we trying to fight this fight, you gotta bring Becky in here. You know, they known for infiltrating. You know what I'm saying? They known for infiltrating, man. We can't trust her, but you got to bring her in this beating. Like, nah, fam. So they got on my head with that. They got mad at me for that, but it is what it is. I will always stand on that. I will always stand on that. Man, Ronald, I probably saw that episode. They be blasting heads for that insurance money. Stuff be crazy. Infinite Charms, peace, what's happening? B Law, exactly. Like I said, man, a lot of people don't be understanding my stance, man. But I admit, like I said, I didn't study too many of my great folk, you know, too many of my great elders and ancestors, man. You know, and I live out their philosophies, even if some of them don't. Even if some of the dudes I'm studying don't live out what they wrote, I'ma live it out. You know, because I'm gonna be better than they were, you know, and that's what we supposed to be. So even if some of our great elders and ancestors put out great work, and they may not have been a reflection of that work at times, they still put out the work. Like they put out the blueprint. I'm gonna follow the blueprint. If they didn't, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm learning from the past. Like, man, this is where y'all slipped up. So that's not where I'm gonna slip up. You know, so we came here together. We fought together. And I'm gonna continue to fight with these. I'm gonna continue to fight with my sisters, man. I'm gonna continue to fight with my brothers. I'm gonna continue to do that. Because again, like I said, this is our fight. We came here together. We came here together against our will. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came here together against our will, fam. We done been fighting in the wilderness of North America for over 400 plus years together. We didn't been through this thing. We didn't experience all of this stuff together. So we need each other. There's no other group of people that can relate. There is no other group of people that can relate to what we done been through collectively. And I'm talking about black men and black women in the wilderness of North America. There's no other group that can relate to you, black man. There's no other group that can relate to you, black woman. Nobody else was here with you for that long period of time like we were. We the only ones that can relate to what we done been through, you know, subconsciously. You know, so that's why I have the stance that I have. And a lot of people don't understand that, man. A lot of people don't understand that. Again, everything be looking nice initially, but when it's time to chop it up, when it's time to deal with substance and things like that, when it's time to connect on that mental level, you're gonna realize you don't have a lot in common with some of these folks. I'm talking about core principles you don't have in common with some of these folks from other places and whatnot. And again, it's a lot of other ethnic groups, a lot of other cultures practice exactly what I'm saying. So don't get mad at me. It's plenty of other cultures that have the same stance, and I ain't never mad at it. I ain't never mad at it. I ain't never mad at it, man. Like America never wanted to see us together, man. America never wants to see a black man and black woman loving one another, giving birth to strong black children. They don't never want to see that. You know, when they do see that, of course, they start with assassinating the male character. You know, they assassinate the man. They start tapping his phone. They start following him, you know, trying to find evidence of him cheating and things like that. You know, that's what they start doing. When they see a strong black couple, we need some allegations to get out revolving around this black man that could mess up the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they start doing. So when you start seeing a strong black couple in the eyes of in the public eye, you know, and they influencing a lot of folk, then you start seeing allegations brought up in reference to the guy. Oh, he cheating, he doing this. They didn't tap the phone. They following him. Things like that. You might start seeing photos of them at places. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of stuff be happening. Tasha, peace. What's happening? My Parker, 100%. Turn your back, and then be making lame excuses as to why you did it. I don't want to hear your lame excuses. Just say that's your preference. You know what I'm saying? Just do that. Just say it's your preference and keep it pushing. But when you start coming to me with lame excuses in regards to why you're dealing with the other side, like I said, that's when I'm gonna check you. That's when I'm gonna check you 100%. Uncle Stu, appreciate that donation for sure. Hey, and just tap in with me. You know, tap in with me. We can make that work for sure. B-Law, what you say? Do you believe we are the most feared people to come into power? Because I've traveled overseas, and it's crazy how you're treated like royalty in certain places, and that you are a special people. 100%. 100%. 100%. We are the most feared. 100%. I know we are. 100%. Because it's almost like we the missing link. Like we the free agents. Once we unify, fam, it's over. That's why I say we the most feared. Once the black people in the wilderness of North America unify and wake up collectively, it's a wrap. We the free. That's why every other group. That's why every group targets us. We are the free. We are the wild cards. We are the wild cards. Once we come together collectively, game is over, fam. Game is over. And they know that. That's why they got to keep us in this dumbed down state, fam. But once we come together, it is a wrap. It is a wrap. That's why they have worked so hard to keep that from happening with COINTELPRO and the war on drugs, you know, planting all the drugs in our communities and things like that, dropping the guns off in our communities, having us killing one another, you know, igniting gang wars, things like that, the East Coast, West Coast beef, all of this stuff that they manufactured that got us killing one another, destroying ourselves. They did all of that, man, because they can't afford for us to unify here in America because they already know what's going to happen. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Man, I had a Nigerian brother come into the bank, fam, and told me flat out, he was like, man, you come to Nigeria, we treat you like king. You know what I'm saying? Like, he told me that straight up. He said you would be the man if you come to Nigeria. Yeah, he told me that straight up. He's like, look, you come to Nigeria, we treat you like king, you will be the man. That's what he told me. That's what he told me. He told me that straight up. Devin, what you say? Went to college for a year in Athens, West Virginia. Was a huge culture shock for me. Was a hard time for me. Learned so much about myself and them as well. Man, y'all already know my story. I was in school in Davenport, Iowa. I did 4 years. I tell people I was locked up in prison. I went to college in Davenport, Iowa for 4 years. Damn, that was like a prison sentence. Being around all that white. It wasn't even 1% black. It was like 0.0001% black where I was at, fam. And then it was all bad, fam. And I was one of the only ones that was remaining true. I was one of the only one. I might have been the only one that remained true. I never dealt with the white chicks there. I tried to be friends with all the black folks there. Even the black chicks that didn't like black dudes. Obviously, if you had a school like that, I already knew you probably wasn't too fond of black dudes for you to be going to that type of school. You know, but I tried to chop it up with everybody. I tried to unify with the 20 black people that was on the campus. I was one of the only brothers there that didn't dabble with the white side, fam. I was one of the only ones. So I stayed true to my roots. I couldn't do it. Man, I couldn't talk to them white chicks for too long without like, man, we don't have nothing to talk about. I don't have anything to discuss with you. And that was at the time too. I'm learning all of this stuff. Man, I'm like, man, I ain't got much to say to you, fam. Like, we just gonna work together for this project, and I'm finna go back to my room. I'm not holding no conversation with you. What we talking about? What do we have to discuss, fam? I didn't have anything to discuss with these white chicks. I ain't have much to discuss with the white dudes. So I was low key for 4 years. That's why I had great grades, man, because I wasn't out here doing that. I wasn't out here fooling the white folk. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. You know, so y'all should be proud of your boy. I was there 4 years. I could not do it, fam. Like, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Wasn't even tempted. It was like, it was gross. When I tell y'all, listen, I lived amongst these white folks for 4 years. White people gross, fam. Gross. White people, man, they was grossing me out, fam. They was gross. They was doing some gross stuff. White chicks and the white dudes that was there, man, they was on some gross stuff, man. They was on some gross nonsense, man. I wasn't cool with it. Man. So I'm like, nah, man, this y'all gross. Y'all foul. For real, I ain't gonna lie. I did 4 years, man. I did 4 years in Davenport, Iowa. Davenport, Iowa had to live amongst these white folks, and some of the stuff that they was on, disgusting. Not saying you don't have black people that's disgusting, but it's like, man, for 4 years, I disgusting. That's all I'm gonna say. Disgusting. Clocks in. What's happening? Door piece. What's happening? Oh, door for sure. Yeah, that was a decent stream there. So I couldn't tap in. You know, I couldn't tap in at all, man. It wasn't in my nature to do that. Be law. We a threat because of our the potential. We a threat because of the potential. You know that. Listen, these white folks know the truth, right? And they try so hard to keep that truth concealed from us because they know once we find out, game is over. So they are afraid of the potential. They are afraid of us potentially finding out the truth. That's why every black man that has ever come forward and started speaking the truth, they have to assassinate him. They cannot afford for us to come together and collectively learn the truth about who we are here in America. Because once we do that, literally the game is over. We are the wild card. That's what I'm trying to tell. We are the wild card. We are the ones that are severely disconnected from our culture. 100%. So once we start connecting the dots collectively, game is truly over. So they can't afford that. They can't afford that. So they are afraid of potential. They are afraid of us potentially finding out who we are. They have kept that truth concealed from us for so long because they know, man, if these folks here find out this truth, it is a wrap. It's a wrap. We ain't gonna be able to do anything with them. They gonna realize that they not really even the minority, that they the majority. They gonna take over. It's over. For the longest, they done told us we the minority, and that's a lie because we really not. We the majority. You know, so once we start finding this out, we gonna be like, hold on. It's more of us than it is them. What we doing? Game over. Game over. Game over. So that's what they are afraid of. The potential of us finding out who we are. That's why they work so hard to suppress that truth, suppress that information. They gonna assassinate that black man that's trying to educate and enlighten these black folks in regards to who they are. They gonna ban some of these books. You ain't gonna be able to find some of these books. You hear me? You know, that's why they do these things. That's why they do these things. Man, Devin, yeah, my roommate was black dude from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even speak too much on that, but yeah, it was dude from Chicago. My first roommate was a Mexican dude. Man, that lasted half of the semester. Then he had to get on up out of there. Then I had a room to myself, which that was great. But then I ended up with like a white dude. Y'all know that ain't work. Man, white dude became my roommate. I had all the black dudes on campus. We was in there. He couldn't stay in there. We about kicked him out the room. I ain't me rooming with a white dude. I don't even know why they just give me the room to myself. You know. My partner, hey, Frances Cress Wilson talked about that. R.I.P. to the Queen. You know what I'm saying? Frances Cress Wilson, she talked, man, they talked about it, the genetic annihilation of these folks. You know, that's why they fear us for real. They know the truth. That their scientists have this fear that in some years they're gonna be wiped out. That's why you have the Aryan nation trying to preserve the white race, because if they keep mixing with black, they're gonna wipe themselves out. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna wipe themselves out. That's science. You know, a lot of people talk about the Nation of Islam with the Yaqub theory thing. What that basically is letting you know is, if that white keep mixing with the black, you ain't gonna have no more white. That black gonna take over. It's gonna take over. Man, B-Law, that's why they, even before Kyrie, like you got Kyrie, like I said, you got Chris Jack, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, you know, all these dudes, you know, Craig Hodges, man, Professor Griff, man, people don't even realize, like, Professor Griff got kicked out of, Professor Griff was so revolutionary, he got kicked out of Public Enemy. the dudes that made the song Fight the Power, Professor Griff was too revolutionary for that group. He was the first one that brought up the book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. If y'all remember when Nick Cannon was under fire, he was interviewing Professor Griff. You know, when they was getting on Nick Cannon's head about that. That interview that got Nick Cannon in trouble was Professor Griff. You know, so that's why they try to sign anybody. You know, hey, even Farrakhan, contrary to if you agree with the man or not, if you think he'd have been bought off or not, they didn't got rid of most of his speeches off of YouTube. You know, they do that to all of us, man. If you're a powerful black man with a voice, they trying to get rid of it. You know, Khalid Muhammad, Amos Wilson, Steve Coakley, all of these powerful brothers, man. You can't challenge the establishment, man. They're gonna have to shut you, they're gonna have to shut you up. They're gonna have to threaten you. For real. Ronald, 100%. And I was in that white environment for 4 good years. I was in that white environment for 4 good years. Like I told y'all, man, I even had one of the dudes that was on the football team, he's like the kicker or something, made like a diss song towards me on some straight racist vibes. I ain't never seen him around campus after that, though. He ended up getting kicked off the football team, you know, so he was all tough and whatnot, recording the song, but I ain't never see him though, you know. So that's the type of stuff that we was on. Man, Bobby, man, I'm already knowing. But the crazy part about it is the school itself was like, I actually met a lot of people that lived in Davenport, like Davenport and Rock Island and stuff like that. It was a decent amount of black people. So I actually met a lot of people that lived in the cities, the quiet cities. They was black, they was cool. It was the cats in the school that I had the problem with, and a lot of them came from like small towns in Illinois. But the people that I actually met from Iowa, like in the, you know what I'm saying, or within the quiet cities, man, they was black, they was cool. But the school, boy, them white folks that was in the school was disgusting. Disgusting. FH, 100%. Because they know the truth. They know the truth. They know the truth. They know that these white folks know the truth. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's a book called The Iceman Inheritance. That's written by a white guy. He's letting you know the truth. So sometimes, like, people don't accept it when it's coming from a black person. Now that's hatred. So sometimes I use the white authors. I let the white authors tell y'all the same thing I'm telling y'all. So it can't be hatred then because a white person saying it. It's plenty of white folks that have told this exact truth. Oh, Tony, 100%. Declining. You know, you got a lot of abortion clinics in the black neighborhoods. You got a lot of fertility clinics and whatnot in the white neighborhoods. What that's telling you, you know, you got a lot of abortion clinics and things like that, or you had it back in the day. You had a lot of abortion clinics in the black hoods, but then on the white side of town, you had the fertility clinics. You know what I mean? My partner, you say, what do you do if your partner don't understand this? I don't even go around their friends because they are mostly white. Like going to a white wedding, I refuse, man. I feel you. You know what I mean? And that's tough because it's hard to get somebody to understand that. It's hard to get somebody to understand that perspective. The only thing I can recommend doing is educating them, man. I used to show people speeches. You know, I used to bring up books. I used to just give people the game, the evidence, the information. You know, and if they take that information in and absorb it properly, that's gonna work. If they choose to remain ignorant, then it's on them. But that's hard. The only thing you can really do is educate that person to the best of your ability. You got to come with the information. You got to come with the sources. You know, that's the only thing you could do in that regard. West, man, yeah, Professor Griff used to put me on game early. I got most of his books somewhere behind me. And oh yeah, B Law, yeah, for sure. Yeah, forgot about that brother. Yeah, I forgot about that brother though. Mr. Bobby, they trying to mess up. They trying to mess up the super chat. You see what they do? See what they do? See how they do us? See how they do us out here? They try to mess up the super chat. They don't want super chat to work on a stream like this. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, B-Law for sure, man. They divide and conquer, you know. And they got, I'm telling, they got us, man. They got us. The divide and conquer, like they got us. We are divided. We are big time divided, you know, and we are at that point. That's what I say. They just sitting back laughing. The unseen hand, like they sitting back laughing. They sitting back plotting, planning, and strategizing. You know, they continuing to poison the foods out here, poison the tap water, poison the air, because they just got us, man. We ain't focused on nothing else. We focused on destroying one another, so it ain't nothing for them to just wipe us out with something. You know what I'm saying? Like they got us. They got us exactly where they want us. B-Law, yeah, man. Eventually, when I stop procrastinating, I'm gonna get on that. Yeah, but they can't, like I say, they can't even fool with, like, nature don't fool with them like that. Nature don't fool with them like that. Hey, Dora, 100%. They don't like that. They don't like that. Bobby, appreciate the cash out for sure. They don't like that though. Man, Bob, man, listen. I went, like I said, I went to that white college for 4 years, man. Ask me how many of them white folk that I was in classes with are my friends on Facebook, any of these platforms. Zero. The only people that's friends with me from that school are the black people. Night Rider, what's happening? You know, so again, man, education is very, very important. You know, we gotta stay studious. You know, we gotta stay educating ourselves. Like I mentioned the books in the beginning. You know, if you missed it, please go back. I mentioned some good books, man. Like we gotta stay connected to our history on all levels, fam. We gotta stay connected to our history, our heritage at all levels. You know, and I mentioned 6 good books in the beginning, man. If you missed it, rewind that joint, tap into them book recommendations, and make sure you go get them books. You know, and I got another one too, another good one right here, man, by Wesley Muhammad. Shout out to my Nation of Islam brothers. But here it go, man. That Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity by Wesley Muhammad, man. This brother writes some good books, man. I got a lot of his joints. Tony, peace, what's happening? B Law, hey, put it out in the universe, man. It might happen. You know what I'm saying? It might happen. It might happen for sure. Bobby, for sure. Yeah, with the whole corny situation, man. Yeah, that was interesting. Like I said, I ain't never, like, the corny label. I ain't never really get placed on me, to my knowledge, like to my face. I Like I said, I got called boring more than anything, and that was after I got older and started to read and distance myself from, like, the club life. You know, I rather stay at the crib. Like, I started embracing the crib. You know, now of course from time to time I go out, have a, say, go get something to eat, things like that, do some simple stuff, man. But I ain't going too crazy. And that's just as a black man, man. The world is crazy out here, man. So I try to keep it as simple as possible, especially on my side of town, man. St. Louis, it can get filed. You know, so if I'm going somewhere, man, and things get a little real, man, I just know where my temper can go sometimes, man. So I'll be like, man, I used to just try to stay low because of that. Because all it takes is for my temper to fail me one good time at the wrong place, and that could be the end of me. You know, so I just be like, man, I'm gonna stay low key, man. Go to some low key places and things like that, man, and keep it simple. You know, like I must be want to do extravagant nonsense for no reason. You know, just to impress people that don't even care about them for real. Thunder Peace, what's happening? I ain't never been that. I ain't trying to impress people. I ain't trying to impress people, man. I ain't trying to do that, you know. I ain't trying to go to the most extravagant restaurant, post it on Instagram just to brag and boast to a bunch of people who don't care about me and who I don't care about. That's not doing anything. If anything, that might get you robbed out here. You know what I'm saying? Like people see type of life you out here promoting and living. Next thing you know, you done got robbed out here because there's people out here that's creeping. You know, it's people out here that's plotting, planning, and strategizing on you. For real. Hey, peace, fam. Man, I don't even man, what's your name? GGETINC. We ain't even gonna try to pronounce it, but shout out to you, fam. B-Law, what you say? How do you maintain your mental health? Black love is constantly under attack daily, and to see you and your wife standing tall in it is admirable. Man, hey, the mental health is always a struggle. You know, that's been a struggle before I was even in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like that's always a struggle. But man, I try to do little things on a day-to-day basis, man. Like I say, eating right is crucial. Eating right, people, that's an underrated aspect of your mental health. Making sure you eat right. You know, so you feed the mental the proper foods, the mental gonna respond accordingly. You know, so just eating right, exercising, journaling, that's big, and just educating myself, man, learning as much as I can about the mind, neuroscience, things like that, man. Just studying psychology, studying the subconscious mind, doing affirmations, meditating, breathing exercises. Man, that's just what you have to do, you know, and then just stay true to yourself. You know, like I said, man, I've always been one to stay true to myself and speak my mind and stand on what it is that I represent, you know, and that's just how I maintain. I don't have to put on a mask. You know, I be myself at all times. That helps with the mental. I don't have to go out here and live a lie. You know, I've created a life for myself to where I don't have to go out here and try to impress these white folks. You know what I'm saying? To get a promotion, to get a job, I put myself on. You know, so I don't have to put on a mask. What y'all see me rocking right now, I go to my gym just like this. You know, so I'm comfortable. You know, so I had to create that lifestyle for myself, and that was very important because I felt fake when I was in corporate America, shaking hands with these white folks, trying to impress these white folks, knowing I don't really care about them like that. You know, so I had to create a lifestyle for myself where I was more in control. You know, so I had to boss up and create opportunities for myself, man, because I wasn't too fond of that. So that was crucial for me to become the maker, the owner, you know, of my planet, you know what I'm saying, of my universe. Sherry, what you say? I've been embracing boundaries and emotional intelligence. I'm from ATL. I was considered the nice guy. I was afraid to voice my opinions and thoughts. That level of people pleasing, man. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people was misunderstanding me on my wife's stream yesterday when I was talking about why I don't consider myself a nice guy. And exactly what you said, you was afraid to voice your opinion and thoughts. That level of people, like I was never on that. You know, like I was gonna tell you something, whether you liked it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I was good for that. You know, but man, you can't do that. We got to get out of the business of people pleasing. Because these same people that you trying to please, they not gonna view your feelings the same way. So I had to, you got to get out of that business. I realized that quick. What I'm trying to please these people for, when it's time for them to try to please me, they don't care anything about my emotions. They don't care anything about my feelings. You know, so why I'm about to put their feelings first? Self-preservation, first law of nature. I ain't going. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm not. We got to get out of the business of. If you remain in the business of people pleasing, you're gonna end up bankrupt, fam. You're gonna end up bankrupt. And I ain't trying to be bankrupt. That's not a good state to be in. So you got to exit that business. You know, you got to come up with an exit plan. We can't be in the business of people pleasing, man. That will tear you up. That will tear you up, man. Them people don't care nothing about you. They using you, fam. You know, they see that kindness as a weakness. They know you in the business of people pleasing, so they gonna use you. I learned that quickly. I learned it very quickly. Man, Dora, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to tell you, Muzz called it. I just had different experiences. I mean, for the most part, uh, people was more intrigued because I was like an enigma. I was like a mystery. Just the way I move is mysterious to folks, man. I just move in a different way. So a lot of times that caught people's attention. Like I was just a different dude. Because what threw people off a lot about me is because I look like the way I look. Like I look like a certain type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I look like I'm about that life. But then when I come off another way, it throws people off. Like my image is telling you I'm one way. But then when I start talking and when you read my post, it's like, hold on, dude on a different vibe. Wait a minute. So I used to throw people off with that, man. Like my appearance, that they say don't judge a book by its cover. People always judge me by the cover every time. So they say don't judge a book by its cover, but people do that anyway. So people will look at me and they'll think one thing, and then they'll hear me talk and they'll see me post and they'll be like, hold on. Like, well, hold on, what dude on? So that was the difference on mine. Like I just looked a certain type of way, man. Like I looked like one of them dudes that was about that life, that was in the streets. And then they heard me talk and they see me walking around with books, and it's like, hold on, whoa, what this dude on? So that used to be intriguing to people. Oh yeah, Bobby, for sure, man. That I got a long history of rants and vents before you to like in person. Like if you ever see my rant and vent in person, that's a whole different ball game. Jerry, what you say? I'm more kind than nice. I know my boundaries and respect myself. There we go. Like I said, man, I label myself. I decent might have been the best word, but like I know I got room for growth, man. Because I don't tolerate a lot. Like I just don't tolerate a lot, fam. Like a lot of stuff irritates. I just don't tolerate a lot of nonsense. Like my tolerance level for some nonsense is short. You know. So eventually, some stuff just gonna end up getting on my nerves real quick, and I'm gonna have to let it be known. Like, what are we on? Get in. There it is. And I don't know what I finna call it. Black Son, you say, would you recommend meditation, big bro? 100%. And people got this whole perception of meditation, but like meditation ain't what for. People think to meditate, man, you got to be sitting a certain type of way, and you can't think about anything. Like that ain't meditate, man. You could walk, man. You could walk and meditate. You know what I'm saying? Like you can meditate doing anything, man. Meditation ain't about not thinking about anything. That's a form of meditation. You could reach that state eventually, but man, meditation, all it is, man, just sitting with those thoughts, letting them thoughts come and go. Don't stop the thought, man. Just let the thought do what it's gonna do. That thought gonna naturally come, that thought gonna naturally go. Then when that thought does that, another thought gonna come and go. You do that for about 10, 15 minutes, you're gonna have all type of thoughts that circulate within the mind. Man, that's meditation, man. Just sitting in peace, letting the thoughts do what they do, letting them come and go. So I recommend meditation to everybody, but meditation ain't what most folks think. You gotta sit with your legs crossed, with your hands like this, and your eyes closed, and you like, nah, man. It's a bunch of different ways to meditate. You know, but I definitely recommend meditation. Wes, nah, I never smoked and I never drank. Never smoked, never drank. Never could do like I had bad respiratory problems as a child, so smoking, I always had a fear of smoking, man. Like I used to be around it, and that mug used to do something to my respiratory system, man. Cause I was suffering a lot as a child, man. So that's one of the reasons I never gravitated towards smoking. When I'd be around it when I was a kid, due to all my respiratory problems, man, that joint used to be killing me. I used to feel like I was about to die, so that automatically caused me to distance myself from smoking. Just that experience traumatized me when I used to be around smoking and stuff like that. With all the respiratory conditions, man, it used to have me feeling like I was gonna die every time. So I was just like, man, I ain't gonna never do that. My Parker, what you say when you and your wife got together? Did y'all think alike? like share the same views about things. Nope. Not even really not even close, really. Not even close. Not even close. Like she was into religion. I obviously was not. She was eating meat and dairy. Man, I was in vegan mode at the time. So not even close. not even close. Not even close. I'm gonna tell you straight up, not even close, man. I came in the game. I came in the game on some totally different vibes, totally different stuff. Every chick that I was like entertaining at that time, like before that, like I ain't have any, like it wasn't no like-mindedness, because I was, man, I was like, I'm 19, 20, 21. The stuff that I was on at that time, like there wasn't many 19, 20, 21-year-olds on some of those type of vibes. So like for the most part, people wasn't understanding what I was on, man. I was banging on religion at the time. Man, I wasn't eating meat, wasn't eating dairy. Like, man, I was fasting. Man, I was on all type of stuff, man, at 20, 21. I was not getting that. So nah, we no, like we were not we were not like-minded. Like emphatically no. I will say that 100% no. Just no. Nope. So that's why I tell people all the time, patience, patience, have patience. K-pop, peace, what's happening? Have patience. Oh yeah, you say Dory, you say my body literally shuts that, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. At FH, you say drain, and then you eventually start becoming resentful. All of that. All of that. Bobby for sure. Yeah, we at the 6K subs. Hey, slow and steady gonna win the race here. You know, eventually, man, I'm waiting till I get to a certain number before I start bringing out certain pieces of information. You know, I'm waiting. Got to be strategic with some of these truths I want to hit folks with. I'm gonna wait till I get to a certain number, and it's gonna hit y'all. It's gonna hit y'all like lightning. Some of the things I'm gonna bring out like lightning. When I get to a certain number, man, I'm gonna come out the gate, bow, just smacking people over the head with some of this information. For real. K-pop always. Get ink. You say, I notice our people want to impress others with our sexual relationships. I believe our family relationships should be sacred. 100%. I was just talking about this in private. One thing I can't stand in regards to the family situations is, man, as soon as a baby be born these days and they got an Instagram page, how a newborn baby got an Instagram page. So we exposing these children to social media before they even know what it is. Yo newborn, yo 1 day old baby got an Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? Your 1 day old baby, you trying to capitalize off your 1 day old baby. You trying to monetize content using your 1 day old baby, using a baby. Man, we got to stop doing that, fam. That stuff be kind of corny to me. If you want to post your child on your page, demonstrating you doing your motherly or fatherly duties, that's cool, man. But why are you creating a whole page for your 1 week old baby? Like, come on, man. We got too many creeps out here. We got too many pedophiles out here, man. Your 1 day old baby gonna turn into a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, and you're gonna have pedophiles out here stalking that page. Stop doing that. Stop. We gotta stop doing that, man. That stuff is weird to me. That stuff is weird. Dressing these babies up, trying to have them look older than what they are, and putting them on the TikTok and the IG, and they don't even know what none of this stuff is. That stuff is weird, man. You creating a monster, man. We create monsters when we do that. You know, they gonna get old, and that, like, they gonna get older, and now all they want is attention because you didn't have them on this social media since they was 1 day old. So they used to this attention. They are addicted to the likes, the shares, and all of that. You know, so when they don't get a certain amount of likes and shares, like they start getting depressed and things like that. They lose the confidence within themselves. Oh, why they ain't like this picture? Oh, why they ain't like that picture? Why they ain't sharing this picture? You're creating a monster, man. Let them kids create their own social media when they get old enough to do it. Stop creating it for them when they turn 1 day old. Your dog got a Facebook, got an Instagram. Like, this stuff be crazy, man. Door for sure. And that's why I really can't relate to the lame and corny thing, because I never got, if anything, I got called like unique. And the only time I would get, like I say, would get called boring is because I'm like, man, I'm done going out. I'd rather stay at the crib, you know, and do that, you know, watch some movies or something and read things like that. Then you would get bored. But outside of that, I would get called things like unique or mysterious or maybe strange or weird. But hey, those are good terms for me. Thunder Scorpion for sure. Yeah, a lot of people afraid of them confrontations. I used to be like, well, man, like I was a toss up, because if you push the right button with me, I'm ready for the smoke. But if it's like I'm in one of my modes to where, man, I don't feel like talking to nobody, then I don't feel like talking. But man, if you say the wrong thing or the right thing that sets off the trigger, I got to go off. I got to go off. I got to go off. Like, I got to let you have it. You know what I'm saying? If you say the wrong thing to me, I'm finna spaz out real quick. Yeah, Bobby, I'm trying to tell you, people swear I sell drugs. They swear I do. They swear I do, man. Hey, Thunder for sure. Shout out Liberation. No, wait a minute. No, that wasn't that joint. But yeah, I didn't wrong song. But yeah, no, that's my joint. That's my joint for sure. That's my joint for sure. Hold up, y'all. Got to respond. Yeah, I think not Liberation, but what was that? Equimini. That's the right song. Yeah, but yeah, grounding. Yeah, grounding this piece. Yeah, grounding this piece. My Park, you say, how did y'all overcome those differences? Hey, and that's why I tell everybody, I just stay true. What happens is, this is how I know, and this is to the brothers and the sisters, but this is how I can vouch for, if you are a man of principles, your woman will become a reflection of that. She will be inspired and moved by that. That's how those differences were overcome. Because I just stayed true to I stayed true to everything that I stood on. And she saw that. Like, she saw that I'm always constantly learning, you know what I'm saying? And I was going to part, like, I'm embracing this culture that I came in here with. Like, this is the way that I'm eating. So like, she eventually embraced those things, because she saw that these things were literally a part of me, you know, and I took it seriously. I may have took it more. I took my stuff more seriously than she took her stuff at the time, which caused her to like do some introspection. You know, like, she was like, "Dag, man, I really need to evaluate my religious beliefs, because I came in with a culture, and she see me studying my lessons. Like, I'm taking this culture seriously. You know, I'm studying lessons. I'm quoting math. I'm quoting degree. I'm memorizing degrees. I'm reading books pertaining to the, like, she saw how serious I took this culture. She saw how serious I was taking my culture. She saw how serious I was taking my health. Next thing you know, she becomes a reflection of that. BJ Elmo, peace, what's happening? Game hard. Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard of them for sure. And we gonna need them. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta keep finding soldiers out here. We gotta keep doing it. We gotta keep doing it 100%. B-Law for sure. Hey, trying to tell I got plenty of things that could get the channel banned. I ain't came out with some of that stuff yet, but I got plenty of information I can put out here that can get this channel banned. I'm holding off on some of that. Gotta move strategically. I got a plan in place for when that information is released and the channel potentially draws that type of attention. I got a plan. Oh, Dora for sure. Yep. Send me that email, man. I got you. Kurt, peace. What's happening? Hey, Ty OGD TV. Peace for sure. Man, yeah, for sure. They weaponize many elements of black relationships, man. Like they got us going back, they got us assassinating one another, man. Like I say, while they sitting back laughing like they ain't part of it. You know, so then when I tell somebody that's the real enemy, folks looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, oh, these white folks ain't never did nothing to me. What you mean? Like these white folks say, y'all always try to blame the white man. Nobody blaming white man, none of this. We acknowledging his role. Y'all the ones that think the white folks ain't got no role in what's happening. And then get mad at somebody like me for acknowledging that they are still very much indeed involved in what's going on. I ain't blaming them though. But to act like to act like these white folks ain't got no involvement, to act like this system has no involvement in what's going on between black men and black women is crazy to me. That's honestly crazy. If y'all seriously think that's true, like that's crazy to me. That's real crazy. Like that's crazy to me. B-Law, you say, do you ever feel like we will ever come back and start to love each other again? 100%. What they say, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. It may not happen during our time, I don't know, but it's definitely gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen, man. It's definitely gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen, fam. Like we done had too many elders, we done had too many ancestors let y'all know what the future gonna hold for the white folks and for us. We gonna eventually get back to that type of lifestyle. It's gonna happen. Like I said, it may not happen during our time, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We the original people of the planet Earth. You can't keep us that. It's gonna happen, man. It's inevitable, and they know it. They know it. They know it. Yeah, Tony, exactly. Which is why I got a book called The Unseen Hand. That's exactly what they are. It's a book. I don't know if it's on Amazon anymore, but it's a book called The Unseen Hand. And they just that book is talking about, you know, how they orchestrated a lot of the like the world wars and other wars and things like that. It talks about their involvement in that, you know, but like that's what they are, the unseen hand. The unseen hand. The unseen hand. That book sheds some light on some things. You know, that's why I don't take things like when 9/11 with all these things happen, like I already know that they got involvement in it, because that book sheds some light. Pawns in the Game, that's another book, shed some light in regards to their involvement in a lot of wars and, you know, all that type of nonsense. The media manipulation. Like I got a book called Manipulating the Masses. Like the book lets you know what they manipulating the masses. It's another book called Propaganda. And Edward Bernays. Like they have literally put this stuff out here in books. They have put this stuff in books, like literally what they are doing out here, how they manipulating the masses. Like this stuff is written in books. They letting you know how they have done it. and how they continue to do it. They written it. They have it. It was written. What Nas album? What it was written. They have written it all out. Oh yeah, the feminism. Yeah, man. I didn't went off on the feminists before. Can't stand them. Can't stand them. Like to be, listen, to be a black woman and be calling yourself a feminist makes absolutely no sense, because the black struggle ain't a black man struggle. You know, so when I'm fighting for black people, I'm fighting for black men and black women. It's not a black man struggle. So when you separate yourself and say I'm a feminist, like that's always been stupid to me. That's always been stupid to me, because the black struggle it involves black women. You know, so when you separate yourself and be like, I'm a feminist, like, come on, man. I got time for that. That white nonsense, man. Listen, we fight for black people. We fighting for black people. That involves all black people, you know, black men, black women, black children. You ain't got to separate yourself and be like, I'm a feminist, I'm fighting for women's rights. Like, no, we fighting for the liberation of all black people in the wilderness of North America. Clocks in 100%, man. Just keep focusing on yourself, fam. Book called Genocide. No, I don't think I read that one. Solo T for the Grand Chessboard. Yeah. No, I read that joint. B-Law, what you say? I question, but do you feel people watching you closely, the more conscious I become to myself and increasing my knowledge, the more things will happen? Is it similar to you? Dude, it ain't even, do I feel that? I done told this story plenty of times on my very first Facebook page. I used to get threats. Yeah, I used to get threats. People used to tell me I need to watch what I'm posting, all that type of stuff. I used to get threats. I had white dude used to go off on me in my inbox. he used to go off on me, calling me all type of niggers, this and that. Dude, you couldn't stand me. But I got all type of threats from those mysterious pages where they make the threat, then next thing you know, the page gone. I used to get all that. Yeah, I used to get all that. I didn't got all that type of stuff, man. I didn't got all type of threats by those pages, those bots. You know what I'm saying? Like, they send me that threat, man. You need to watch what you talking about. Woo woo. Then I go find the message, and then that page is gone. You know, I didn't all of that happen to me. Y'all know y'all remember when I was talking about the vaccine and all that, man, how they deleted like 4 or 5 of my videos, and then I got that one strike. So I was 2 strikes away from getting, you know what I'm saying, when I started talking about the vaccine and all that. I got a strike, boy. They deleted about 4 or 5 of my videos, all that. So all my videos pertaining to the vaccine, at least most of them, they got deleted. They got deleted. They deleted my joint. They deleted my joints, man, and can't go back and find them. They gave me a strike, all that, man. So I know I'm under surveillance. I know I was like in their system, especially back on my first Facebook page. I know I was in the system. You know, I know they had eyes on my page because I used a lot of the keywords at that time. I used them a lot. The keywords that, like, they got a database, man. They got certain keywords that when you use those words, you know, boom, it sends alerts to these folks. And the more that page uses those words, they start monitoring those people closely. They start monitoring those pages. They're like, oh man, dude keep using this keyword. He keep mentioning the government. Let's pay attention to his page. I was using all the keywords at that time, so I know they was tapped in. You know, so they got a list of words to where, man, if you keep using those words, they're gonna start monitoring you. And this is a real thing, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was using those words, I wasn't caring. I'm like, all right, I'm finna use all these words. I know they tapped in. Like I know y'all tapped in, but I don't care. I'm still finna use all these words, you know. So I was inviting them in there, man. I ain't care, but I was using all the keywords, man. Back when the Illuminati was the thing, man. Man, Illuminati this, Freemasonry that, government this, CIA that, FBI this, man. All the words, any word you can think of, boom. I'm setting off all triggers. I was on the list. Hence why that page no longer exists. No longer exists. Like they wouldn't even let me change my name on that page. Like it was just crazy. You know, they was telling you got to upload ID, you know, and show birth of your name. I mean, show proof of your name. Like they wouldn't even let me change my name. All type of stuff wasn't going on that page. But it's all good though. They can't stop it. They can't stop us. DJ Elmo, facts. Hey, facts. 100% facts. But yeah, they couldn't stop. They made some threats, man. But hey, like I said, they couldn't get to the kid. They couldn't get to the kid. We weren't going. We weren't going at all. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I gotta tap out. I gotta get myself ready, you know, make another smoothie, and then head on back up to this gym, man, to finish off my clients for the second half of my day. You know, so I appreciate y'all tapping in with the kid, man. I appreciate Cash App donation, all the love, man. It's always peace chopping it up with y'all. I don't know when I'm gonna tap back in. Probably Wednesday or no, shoot, probably not Wednesday, man. It might be Thursday. I'll tap back in with y'all. I might do some uploads, man. So be on the lookout, man. But I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying y'all Monday, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with the kid for this hour and 22 minutes. Y'all be easy out here, yo. Stay healthy. Peace.